Composite Doctors family is this idea Composite Doctors find their own voice, lead from within. So with me today, I'm with Amanda Marie and Brant Morel. How are you guys?
Good.
All good here. All
Awesome,
fresh.
awesome. So the topic today is press pause, time to rewind and reset. So in today's fast-paced world, we often rush from one task to another without taking time to reflect, recharge, or reset. These constant emotions can lead to burnout, stress, and loss of direction. Just like a device that needs to restart to function smoothly, we too need to press pause, rewind, and reset to regain clarity, energy, and purpose. So this process allows us to reflect on past actions, learn from them, and make necessary adjustments for a healthier, more balanced life. So, Grant, you chose this topic.
Mm.
What was on your mind when you chose this topic? Are you pausing at the moment, or are you rewinding, or are you resetting?
Thank you, Dom. So, what was on my mind was that a few conversations I've been having with people since the end of last year. Some people I bumped into at social events, business events, and a few people have been run down. They've been a little bit unwell. Now, Christmas for some people, depends where you are in the world, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. So let's celebrate Christmas, the word Christmas, with festive holidays. Okay, festive holidays, whichever holidays they are, religious holidays, whatever. For some people, they're a great time of rest, rejuvenation. Some people not. Some people they get stressed, as we mentioned before. They're running around, they're looking after family, sometimes having to deal with family who they rather not really be with, and it's a stressful factor. They're trying to enjoy themselves, they're looking after their nearest and dearest, and then their extended family, friends, and there's expectations, isn't there? Especially for women, there's a lot of expectations about providing great food, a home that's got to be tidied up. Us guys sit there and like, what's the big deal? But we don't get it. Women get this thing, it's got to be tidied because other women are going to judge, all that kind of stuff. And for guys, you've got to be the great provider. So we think it's what media tells us. There's a lot of pressure put on people to do these things. Therefore, some people, I've noticed, have been quite burned out after Christmas because it isn't a rest for them. In fact, sometimes their immune system gets a bit low, they get a bit down. Depends where you are in the world. In this part of the world, the weather's pretty low, the days are shorter. Yes, they're starting to pull out a little bit just before Christmas, they start to pull out. But already the days are short. There's not a great deal of sunshine around. There's not a lot of vitamin C, not a lot of vitamin D. I'm used to having all the razzmatazz and the decorations and the parties. Suddenly, boom, nothing in January. And it's cold, it's bleak. A lot of people have spent money. Business can be at a lower reb, etc., etc. You get the picture. So people aren't feeling so great. So oddly enough, something I always do, and this is why I wasn't here last week, is I go away to a country retreat. A colleague of mine's got a country lodge in a Scottish loch, actually, in a Scottish loch, and we go and I go there. They do their thing, I do my thing, and we just go there to kind of hide away from the world. I go there to quite literally press pause, to reset and rewind. And my aim is to not really be in much contact with people, if I'm really honest. I mean, yeah, I talk to people, but I don't try to jump on calls, business calls. A couple of urgent ones I need to do, but apart from that, I try to switch off, just look at the scenery, be at one with nature, and do a bit of goal setting and a better remapping of my life and thinking, who am I? Where am I? What do I want to achieve this year? And if so, am I actually going the right way about it? Sometimes you're too busy rushing around and you want to be getting that, but in fact you're doing all the actions that will get you that. And it makes no sense. You just need to realign yourself a little bit. And when you're on top of the situation, you often can't see it. So that's why I thought it'd be a good time to talk about pressing pause and taking time to rewind and reset. That's what I thought. Amanda, you look like you're rewinding, even though you haven't really started your day there. You've got a wonderful coffee mug, which I'm obsessed with that coffee mug. and you're sitting there with your nice furry, woolly jumper, stroking your cat. It looks to me like you're in bliss. Um, so, what's your thoughts around the subject?
Well, I think this is actually like exactly how I've been feeling. Because Nomza at the start before we came on was like, you haven't been posting your weekly blogs and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I know, but I'm trying to get it all organized into a book so that I can publish it on Amazon. And so like writing weekly is kind of taking a back burner. And I also am like debating on what it is that I actually want to focus on next. And I'm kind of feeling stuck in this like area of like, I don't know what I want to do next. So I just am going to finish this project first and then I'll start doing my weekly blogs again. And I just like, because I really want, like my purpose with the weekly blogs was that eventually it would turn into a book. And that way I could like write an entire book in 1 year. And
No.
so that was like my goal last year. And I've achieved it, but I haven't like finished publishing it. And so that's like kind of been my focus. And it's kind of, I've also like kind of also been slacking on that because I'm just exhausted. I'm completely exhausted. And I know part of that is being a teacher. And in January, we come back from winter break, but then it's like, go time because it's like report cards are due, IPPs are due, everything's due before the end of January. You have 3 weeks to get this done. And it's just like a lot all at once. And then you're also still have to teach on top of that. And so that has caused that I think now that February's hit and all of that stress has like gone because all of those deadlines are over. I'm now just like, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. And like I usually go to the gym 5 days a week and I usually like um make sure that I'm like out doing all these things or that I'm like posting on Instagram daily and I'm doing these things and I just haven't. I'm just like I need to just reset. I need to relax. I need to really figure out what I want my next focus to be. And I need to like finish up some of these like little jobs that I just have been pushing to the side. And yeah, two of them are, one of them is like redoing the artwork for a book so that I can brand it properly on my brand. And then the other one is finishing this other book. And so some of those like things that make me super motivated that I was doing weekly of like taking a back burner because I just need this reset time to really focus on what it is that I need. And it's funny because I pulled like a card the other day. I don't know if any of you ever pull cards, but I pulled a card and it basically said exactly that. It's time to just reset and rest. It's like a hibernation time. And I was like, why am I feeling so demotivated? Like I need something. So I just pulled the card and it was like, it's okay. Like winter time is the time where you like reset and it's like all that time before has to happen. All those like reset times have to happen so that when the time's right, everything can spring up and bloom. And I was like, this is like literally how I'm feeling right now. And I don't usually pull cards very often unless I'm like, I'm really stuck. Like maybe one of these will give me motivation. And that's exactly what it did. It what didn't give me motivation, it just gave me clarification that it's okay that I'm just well, I just need to rest stage right now. Mhm.
Oh, wonderful. Well, there you go. So it's timely for you as well. So you're feeling the need to press reset. I love it.
Plus, it's like been like -20 and below every single day for like 2 weeks in Calgary. So I have not a lot of motivation. It's
Mom,
like,
so we need to stop complaining about the weather over here, right? Yeah, we're like, oh, it's kind of like +3, and like all my California friends are saying it's chilly here. It's like it's only 19 today, and I'm like, yeah, it's +3, and they're like, oh my God, it's cold, and we're whinging, and then the manager just says it's -20. I'm sorry, Amanda, we're going to say nothing else about the bad British weather. Okay, I'm
but
really.
here's the thing, when it is like when it's +3 and it's really humid, it feels like -20 to me because I've been in
Yeah,
Vancouver when it's +3 and I'm like, I'm colder than I am in Calgary when it's -20. Like I'm
I,
so
I
cold.
I get it. Years ago, I was in China, and I went to a few places in China, and I was in Beijing at one point, and it was -9.
Mhm.
And I've never known anything that cold, but it was a dry cold. It wasn't like it is over here. I mean,
Yeah.
you knew it was cold, and I went to a restaurant with my girlfriend, and then we kind of jumped home to a hotel, was just laughing and running. And we got home, and but when we got home, we needed to drink water. We were thirsty. Wasn't didn't have that wet nose and all that kind of thing. It was like an electric cold. It felt like, but it very different to here. Very different. It didn't. I
Yeah.
can't imagine what -9 would feel like here. I will say that much.
No, you would feel like -40.
Yeah.
You would. Like it's just different because the cold here isn't a wet cold, and a wet cold it's feels like 20 degrees
Yeah.
cold in
Yeah.
a wet cold than
Yeah.
it does in a dry cold. And especially if the sun's out. Like we took kids skiing yesterday, and the low was like -22 when we got there. And then the high was like -13, I think. And like it was lovely by the end. Like it was sunny and beautiful, and the kids had a blast. And it's still bearable to be outside. It was actually delightful to be outside. In that like the sun shining, and it's -10 or -13, but it's not bitterly cold. And so that coldness, I think, of winter too, like, is that reset time, and nature has winter to reset. And I think that's something that we sometimes forget in our like busy, busy, busy lives. It's like we're always like go, 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 go.
Mm.
And then we forget that like our bodies naturally need reset time.
True.
And we have to be gentle with ourselves when we do need that reset time.
Good point. Nomsa, what about you? Are you gentle yourself? Do you need to reset? Do you need reminding to reset, or do you not?
I've been doing that. I was asking Amanda, I said, oh, I keep opening my email. I don't see your newsletter. And she was explaining that she's taking time, but it's not good for me because I like reading her newsletter. She gets me excited, and now she disappears. And I'm sure there's loads of people who are feeling the same. Yeah, I think I was saying to Carol Ann and Claudia yesterday that I have decided to pause, rewind and reset. I'm not creating nothing. I'm just analyzing. I need the results of what I have created at this moment. So, like a boot camp, I'm like putting myself out there to that and say, this is the business. So can there something come out of it? You know? So that's what I'm pausing now to just like next week I've took some time off. I'm not even gonna work on my business. I'm just gonna just find the clarity of everything. I just need the clarity. I just need to pause everything. So please do not disturb me either, guys.
That's often what people just need, just clarity, just
Yeah,
clarity.
so I just need clarity. I've had enough of slow progress. So I'm in a point where I just need a fast progress. But in order for me to get that fast progress, I need to pause. I need to rewind. So this topic is actually perfect. I think it's perfect for all of us. Really, really, yeah. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah. From Valentine's Day, from Friday, no working day next day.
Well, that could be a reset for some people, right? That could be a big reset. It's like, no, I don't want to go on Valentine's Day. While we're on the subject, I want to reset on.
That's an excuse, right?
One of those. You could say it to someone we want to finish, and they could go, "Thank God, I didn't have to say it." You don't know, but no, just kidding. Yeah, or it could be a reset the other way. It could be like the rekindlement of a romance. Rekindle the flame. Yeah, it can be all of this. Reset can have many meanings. But either way, like you say, one of the nicer things is it does give you that what you said, not so clarity. So I'm thinking, if anybody's listening in, if any questions are coming on social media, we'd love to know what challenges you're facing with this right now. What is the cloud in front of your face that you can't see through? What is it you need? And what could you do to reset? So let's have a look at this. There's various things you can do. Now, for some people, I'm guessing I've never been a busy mum because I don't think I ever will be, for obvious reasons. But busy mums are, you know, you see what it's like. They're busy. They're looking after they don't get a moment to themselves. Perhaps the moment to reset for them isn't going to take a 2-week break, isn't going to take a 1-week break or a 3-day break. Perhaps it is getting someone to look after the kids while you take a bubble bath. Literally, that's it. Maybe that's the time when you to, oh, that's it. I'm having like an hour to switch off or an hour and a half to switch off and do my thing. Taking a long bath is often the thing for me. If I'm challenged for time and I really want to, and I need to think something out, for me, I've said it before, it's a deep bath with either a large mug of tea or maybe what's known as an Irish coffee. Not that I'm Irish, but it's a coffee with a good slug of whiskey in it and some cream on top, and just sit there and sip that while I'm in the bath. And it's something about being surrounded by water. I was saying to someone the other day, it's cited that because we're allegedly around about 70% water in our bodies, it kind of makes sense that we feel attuned when we're surrounded by water. Often, why do you ever get good ideas that come to you when you're in the shower or taking a bath? Yeah. Partly you're kind of switched off and it's just you. You're not thinking of other people. You should be. You're just concentrating on yourself, especially if you're in a bath and you're really just kind of chilled out, relaxed. It's kind of a relaxive state. And also the fact that you're surrounded by water can be a good thing. For me, often it's going for a walk with certain kinds of music. Now, I could tell you the kind of music I like, but that's irrelevant, really. It's just the music that works for me. What's important is what's the music that works for you. To sit there and get you in what I would call an ambient state. There's all kind of conversations we can go into there about ambience and about manifestation and about tuning in to certain frequencies. And there's a lot of science behind that, which fascinates the hell out of me. But whatever it is for you, you may not know the frequency, but you kind of know the thing that does it for you. And that's probably the most important thing. So whether it's walking, getting a bit of exercise, why? Because when you're walking, if you can, you're doing exercise. This is why some people get the same feeling when they go to the gym, right? Or they're running, etc. Because you're exercising, you're using your lungs, you're pumping oxygen around your heart, you're oxygenating your brain and pushing oxygen into parts of your brain cell that perhaps aren't getting all that level of oxygen. Okay, so you're literally lighting up more parts of your brain. And you can, rather like when you have a good night's sleep, you don't notice how bright and quick and, you know, when I'm tired, compared to when I sleep, I think, I didn't know I was this bright. I'm much brighter when I've had a good sleep. And again, if you can oxygenate yourself, that's a good. You're releasing good endorphins in your body you get from exercise. In a shower, the water beading produces positive ions in your body as well. These are all good positive things. So that can be one simple way. If you can't get away, you can't go on a round the world cruise or a 3-day break, whatever. Perhaps it's the bath. Maybe it's a little walk for half an hour, listening to your favorite music, or just jogging, or just thinking. Whatever it takes for you to get into that state. Because why this is important, it tells your mind that you are in charge. That's really important. Rather than thinking, oh, I'm busy, and we're in victim mode. Yeah, I get the fact that some of us have got more things to do than others. But if you can tell your mind that even though you're busy, you can still take control, that plays a trick with your mind. That starts to give you more confidence. It doesn't give you more work to do. In fact, it empowers you. Now, this is why I say to people, oh, I haven't got time. I'm like, you haven't got time to meditate. You go to the bathroom, don't you? Right? While you're there, you could just meditate for 2 or 3 minutes, couldn't you? I mean, if you're really that challenged, you could. If you're in that busy office, no one's going to have a go at you if you go to the bathroom for 3 minutes and just sit there and just go. just tune out or tune in, whichever way you want to look at it, to yourself for 3 minutes. You can do that a couple of times a day. No one's going to blink. So don't tell me you haven't got time. Everybody's got some time. All right. And I was watching a film I loved the other day called In Pursuit of Happiness. You ever seen that? No? Oh my God, you've got to see that. You got to see that. Will Smith. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, is a guy who's really down on his luck. He's door to door selling stuff. He's really having a tough time in life. No one really wants the thing. His wife splits up with him. He's trying to look after his son, but he's bright. He's a bright guy, right? And you know, his son and him have to live in shelters every night, and sometimes they don't get somewhere to sleep. They have to sleep in public toilets. You know, life is really tough, really tough. But he gets an apprenticeship, if you will, an internship with a very, very big financial trading company, and it's tough. Minimum wage. They treat him like, you know, running around all over the place. He's got to learn a lot, and most people flunk out. But he's working hard. He's got to leave work on time to pick up his son from nursery because they've got to get to the shelter. If they don't get there on time, they've got no chance of getting a bed for them. So it's really, really tough. So what he realizes is time is a premium for him. Others people can afford to take longer. He hasn't got that luxury. He has to get things done quick. So he has to find quicker ways of achieving things. This is what I love. I like to help people make more money in less time, less stress, but more fun and fulfillment. That's what I do in my business. And he learns this in his life because it is literally survival. Okay. He's learning for, and I was saying yesterday to someone, you notice that busy housewives, because they don't have a lot of time, they have a knack of getting things done pretty quickly. They cut the nonsense out and they just get straight up because there isn't spare time, right? I've got to do this, and look after the kids and get dinner, and they get it all done. They might be tired, but they work out an efficient method. So if you are challenged for time, I think perhaps you're one of the best people in the world at getting things done. So take a few minutes, just start 3 minutes and spoiling yourself, treating yourself every day for 3 minutes. Because pretty soon, once you find out 3 minutes in the morning, I know you got to get the kids to school. I know you got to, I know, I get it, I know. But whether that 3 minutes is before everyone wakes up, whether it's after they've gone to school, you just take 3 minutes. Just do it. If you find 3 minutes in the morning, before long, you'll find 3 minutes in the afternoon. And of an evening, when everyone's gone to bed, you'll probably find another 3 minutes. Now that's nearly 10 minutes. Most people don't do anything. So you can find that time, all right? If you've got more time, power to you. But start to get creative of how you can find some time to just press pause. Just for 3 minutes. Time to rewind. Amanda, how about you? You're busy looking after kids all day long. You've got a busy home to run. You've got a cat running all over the place. I know you've got a daughter. How do you find time? When's your time? How do you do it?
Well, I get up early in the morning so that I have a little bit of me time. Like I set my alarm for 5:30 and then I usually get up at 6 and then I have at least half an hour to just like do some yoga and stretches and sit-ups and everything first thing when I get up. And then by the time I get my daughter up, it's usually like out the door by 7:30. And then when I'm teaching, there's not a lot of time, but with teaching, I always think like work smarter, not harder, because there's so many teachers that I'm like, I have this to do and this to do. And I'm like, but you could make it so much more efficient if you just did this. It might take you a couple extra seconds right now, but in the long run, it's going to make you way more efficient and you're going to get done things way faster. So like, for example, when I'm writing report cards, I don't like sit and write report cards and just like write them all at once. I start writing them in like October as I mark things. So I'll be like, just make a little note. As I mark something, it takes me a little bit longer to mark their assignments, but in the long run, it saves me so much stress and time when everybody's panicking in January. And so that way, like, even though I still do get stressed in January about them, and part of my issue this year was that they completely changed how we are supposed to write the report cards after I'd already started writing them. Like I was basically done writing them, and then they're like, no, you have to write them this way using these exact words and this exact format. And I was like, okay. So that like just dysfunction of the system as a whole. But I used to just like write them like, this person's strong at basic facts, this person needs to work on long division, and I just like, that would be how I would write my notes, and then it would be really easy as I marked it just to like have the report card ready. And now I need a new strategy because they've formatted the report cards, but they definitely, like, it definitely is work smarter, not harder. So even when I build projects, I don't build projects that are just like one day, like one lesson that's 1 hour. I build something that's like multiple layers so that it's going to take us like 3 weeks to do. So I'm only planning like once, and then it's like, it's going to take us this much time to complete it. So, but the initial planning takes a lot longer than for a 1 hour lesson, but I have like a big plan on how I'm going to scaffold everything. And that makes my job a lot easier when you scaffold things into like bigger projects, that rather than like these individual lessons that don't connect to anything. And I think that's really important too for kids, because then they can see the connections between the larger things in the real world rather than these like individual lessons that don't make sense with anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then to pause, even like just getting a kitten has helped me pause, because we just are like playing with her and cuddling with her, and just like having some downtime is just, it just reminds you to just like sit and play, right? Getting a pet just reminds you to sit and play. And also even like my daughter's almost 14 now, she'll be 14 at the end of the month, and I like to go to yoga on Tuesdays, but then I don't get home until 6:50, 6:30 or 6:45. And then like dinner's way later. So I was like, once a week you can make dinner. It can be like a can of soup. I don't care. But like on Tuesdays from now on, you're gonna make dinner. And when I get home, dinner should be made. And so she did. It was the first time last night, and she made it. So like we can make our kids help too. Because otherwise we just feel completely overwhelmed and resentful towards them when they're like just like these blobs that aren't contributing to the family, and also like need need to have responsibilities. They need to, because otherwise they're going to like not function in society. So like my daughter has to make her own lunch. Not, she didn't when she was little, but like from grade 7, I think, on, she's made her own lunch every
Wow.
single day. She does her own laundry. She cleans her own bathroom, because like nobody's going to pay you to do those things when you grow up. That is just like common, like being a functioning adult. And in order to be a functioning adult, you have to like set those stages as you go. So now my new thing for her to take a little bit of responsibility is to make dinner once a week, because she likes to cook and she likes to bake and all of those things. So she can have a responsibility of doing it one day a week.
That's excellent. That's really
Yeah. And that even like, even if your kids are littler, they can help you make dinner. I used to make her help me cut everything up, but then and this is part of my issue too, is being that teenager. She like just comes home and plays on her phone, and it doesn't, I make dinner and she doesn't help. And I'm like, oh no, this needs to stop. You used to help cut up the vegetables and you used to help do this. So now if we're not going to do this and we're going to argue, when I go to yoga on Tuesdays, you are making dinner. And so it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be grilled cheese sandwiches. I don't care, but it's your responsibility.
good. That does make a lot of sense. Where you think, yeah, tidying up your room. You got all those. You got a mini house, Riz. You got a mini house. You clean the windows. You dust the shelves. You vacuum. You do You're doing a small version of a family home, right? And it's good. What about you, Nom, sir? Do you get your children doing this?
I have to think it. My oldest one, she's 18. She can do, she can cook, but she's a very, very good cook because she goes to a very good school. So when you go to a very good school, they teach you everything. But if I needed to cook for this house, I have to think, I have to I have to pause, rewind, and research. Because she's those one of kids that when she cooks, everything comes out, and everything has to be perfect. It has to be cooked in a certain way, posh way. But that posh way is taking everything out, not cleaning nothing, messing everything. And then she goes, Mommy, I've cooked. The kitchen is all yours. And I'm looking at the kitchen and like, what the heck is going on? So I have to think. But yeah, she does help out. Her bedroom, sometimes I have to clean it. Because if I ask her to clean her room, it means that she'll chuck clothes away. She'll be giving me 20 reasons why she can't wear these clothes. They need to go. So I'm thinking, you mean you buy clothes and then I ask you to clean your room and then they have to be chucked away. She's like, they're no use anymore. So when they go to school, I tidy the whole room. And then there are times where I will just go on strike and say, I'm not tidying anybody's bedroom, just do it. But they do help me out, which is good. But with work, now we have ChatGPT. ChatGPT is great. AI is great. You can ask the AI to do anything for you. It will just do it. And we just take the stress off some things. And I'm that kind of a person, if I feel overwhelmed, I do ask for help. I've learned that to the hard way. So it's really, really important to ask for help. Yeah, but I try with my kids because I had their auntie when she was talking. She was the oldest. She had it confided in me, and she was like, I used to look after all my siblings, drive them to places, but I felt that I was their mother, even though my mom was there. So I don't do that with my oldest. So I learn a lesson and listen to her very carefully. So I look after my youngest daughter, even when they are time off. If she's at home, if my youngest daughter, if they arrange them to look after each other, I'm good with that. But I take my youngest daughter to the office. She loves it. But I would never ever, if I'm really, really desperate, I ask her to look after her, but I try to take my own responsibilities because I don't want her when she's older to think that I gave her my own responsibilities. But when it comes to cooking and stuff, you have to teach them. She actually she eats almost every day out. Because now she's older, she goes to school, the school is far. So when she finishes school, she has an excuse. She goes, I had to pick something to eat. I'm like, okay, I guess she gives her the money anyway. But when she comes home, I have to force her to eat it at home as well because I don't know what she's eating. So she will eat. But you can see, and also I feel sorry for them as well with the work that they get given at school. It's too much for an 18-year-old. It's like they are at university writing essays and all these things. It's just too much. So yeah, and I like, Grant, what you said. You said, tell your mind you are in control, and make sure your mind is in control, you know that you are in control. I think that is really, really important. Once your mind thinks that is in control, then you can't have confidence and stuff. So I love that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's an important thing. It's an important thing for your mind that you can take some freedom pretty much where you are. And if you're, don't forget the power of meditation. It's so important. It's so easy and it was so great to do. And it is an exercise. It is a practice. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So if you've never done meditation before and you think, oh, I can't concentrate, yeah, just don't expect instant results. Just keep at it. If only for 3 minutes a day, just keep doing that. And that 3 minutes becomes 4, becomes 5, becomes 10. And it gets easier. And just do that because that's a great way of buying freedom, even if you feel you're in the middle of mayhem. Right? You can do that. Even if you're in a prison cell, you can meditate. You could really meditate in a prison cell. You can really, not that I've ever been there, and forgive me, me teaching people about things I don't know. I've never been there, so I don't mean it that way. But I'm just saying, yeah, you can find meditation. Okay, this is a great way to switch off, and a really, really great way to do it. An easy way to do it once you practice it. So there's always a way. Again, but then there's other ways of doing it, isn't there? What happens if you can get away? I mean, the idea of getting away for a weekend, changing scenery is great. And there's a hypnotherapist, if people can't get away from the scenery, I can give you a bit of virtual reality, hypnotic virtual reality. You go on a virtual holiday. And meditation can do this, hypnotherapy can do this. But if you can physically get away, that's great. A change of scenery does so much for you, a change of environment. How many of you have ever had a problem and you're sitting there in those four walls and you're thinking, oh, I'm stuck in this problem? Now, if you can get away, now whether that is meditate and go somewhere different in your mind, very, very powerful. Or if you can physically get away, change it, is so important. So important to do that. Getting around nature is important because we unstrap ourselves from modern technology, which is really not good for creativity in many ways. Get away from technology, get away from other people, get away from the physical problem, the book, the letter, the thing that's worrying you, and see nature and see that we're a small part in a very, very huge cog. It makes you help put things in perspective, and you see beauty in the world where sometimes you're not seeing that when we're looking at artificial things. Okay, some artificial things can be attractive, I agree, but there's something undefinably beautiful about nature, and leveling, it levels and settles your mind. So get in nature if you can. This is why even concrete jungles of housing estates now are designed with parks involved. Parks, trees, wildlife, because it is important to people's mind, especially kids when they're growing up. They get to see these things. It gives them something different, something real to focus on. So important with the psychology and planning, town planning. It's so important these days. I was talking to an architect about this a couple of weeks ago at a course I went on. So always think, where can you get away? Now, what does it need to be for you? Is it going to be rock climbing? Some people need to be doing rock climbing. Some people are laying on a beach. You know, what is it for you? What really recharges you? Some people it's just watching Netflix. You know, whatever. I'm not going to say that's right or wrong. Some I think might be better, but you find what's right for you. But refresh and recharge. And because when you do this, you save time. You often save money, you save an awful lot of emotion. So if you're thinking, I haven't got time to do that, I haven't got, you know what, that's when you really do need to make time. Because if you carry on the way you're going, nothing's going to get easier. It will just get harder. There's never going to be an easier time to do it than now. All right. Now, I'll say now, this moment, it might be, you know, 3 days' time, it might be a week, it might be in 2 weeks' time. But I mean, not next year. I'm talking about now, all right? Sometime in the next couple of weeks. Do it. Get away for an hour, get away for 3 hours, get away for a day, get away for the weekend if you can. Get someone to look after your kids, someone you trust to look after your kids for a while. This is why when we do business retreats, we take people away from their normal environment, away from their normal responsibilities, so their mind can be free to get clarity, what Nobs was talking about, clarity, and they can grow. Because thoughts come to their mind, realizations, possibilities they'd accept as realities, when otherwise they would say, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm too busy to do it. I've got too much responsibility. Take people away from their environment and they can see it as a possibility. And that's what you need to start it off. From that you can make a goal. From that you can make a plan. From that you can implement. From that you start getting results. And that's what we do. So, ways to do it. Nomsa, how are you going to get away? How are you going to do it? How are you going to refresh and recharge? What are you going to do? How can you do it?
For me, I'm not going away. I'm praying, I'm fasting, and I'm just having a clear mind, not thinking about problems or worry about anything, just being in the present moment. And I'm just enjoying the moment and just using gratitude for where I've been and where I'm going. And also, at the same time, I'm actually asking God to give me clarity, at least to share some of his intelligence with me, so I can use that intelligence to find the clarity of where I need to go. And yeah, I'm just taking it easy, not being too hard on myself, and just evaluating everything and just going easy on myself and just enjoying the moment. My children are more independent, like Amanda's daughter. They like sometimes I have to ask if I spend time with them. If I just have to go and sit next to them and start having a conversation with them. But they are independent. They spend time, they do their own thing anyway. So I can't make an excuse.
Great.
So just having that moment and also avoiding negativity and minding my own
Yeah,
business. Yeah,
that's good. That's a great one. Yeah, avoid
yeah,
those what we call energy vampires, the ones who
yeah,
suck the energy out of you. Yeah,
yeah, minding my own business. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
that's a good one.
And I can see it's working. So hopefully by next week I'll have some clarity of where I need to be and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like we need to do something. Yeah, actually, it's a
I've
good
got
point.
I've got some to add to ways that you can just like pause and reset. So one of the things that, well, I already told you that I go to yoga and I go to the gym pretty regularly, and those are kind of my like reset times because they're times where I just get to be by myself at the gym or at yoga and just like decompress. But while I decompress at the gym, I often listen to like an inspirational podcast. So that's something that I do while I'm at the gym. I'm usually listening to a podcast so that I'm learning, but it's generally something like on like mindfulness or just like something that's going to teach me something that's going to make me like reflect on life. Another thing that I do, I just actually this weekend started cross country skiing again for the first time. I hadn't been cross country skiing in like 16 years. And so I got a set of cross country skis off of like Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do this again. So that
So,
was really fun. Like it was just like an hour and you're out in nature, and it's like not very far from my house to go. I think like a 30-minute drive. And it's just like so fantastic to just like be out in the mountains, and there's so many people out there. And like I go skiing, like downhill skiing and snowboarding pretty regularly too, but cross country skiing is just like it's like a 3-hour day instead of like a 12-hour day. And so
right.
that was just like it was so nice to just reset, and then but also so nice to see so many other like people out there. Like it was really busy, and I was like, wow, like there's so many people just needing to get out in nature and pause and reset and just have some time away from technology and time where there's sun shining on their face and they get to just right. And so I think that's a really important thing to do, is like think about how can you get out in nature. And there's actually research on like forest bathing and the benefits of it. And forest bathing really is just like being intentional and mindful about going
What
out
is that called?
in nature. Forest bathing.
Forest bathing. And that means not bathing per se, just like being in the forest,
Being
bathing.
in the forest. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Apparently you pay big money to do it in Japan. I'm like, I do that every weekend basically here. Where you
yeah.
just, I was like, what is
I'm just
this
having a
you are
business.
saying?
I love Japan, and I'm just having a business. I like people pay good money for that.
I
Okay.
pay money to like go for a walk in the forest, and like I can just go for a walk in the forest like literally here. Um, but it is something that like they've done research on like your mindset and on how the forest vibrates and stuff, and how that helps your vibration and all these different things. And there's like huge benefits just being out in nature. And if you live in a concrete jungle in the city like I do, like try to get out in nature, even if it's just like a park or something, right? There's so many ways that we can like reset in nature too. And I think that's a really good thing. And then also like books. What are you reading? What books are you reading to help your mindset, to help you reset? Sometimes there's like one or two books out there that just like really help you reset and refocus and are like, oh, this is why I've been struggling so much, is because I'm stuck in this pattern. And this book has shown me this, or this podcast has shown me this is why I keep getting stuck in this pattern and this cycle. And now I need to shift myself forward.
I know that. Yeah, Amanda, we should have you recommending books each week.
Yeah.
You're like a human library. Yeah, you really are.
I have so many books. It's so, yeah, just I swear I order a book off of Amazon like every second week because I finish them so quickly, but I love to read, so there's that.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. So, Nomsa, what's your conclusion to all of this? What do you think?
I think reading is good, like what Amanda has said, and also just when you're pausing and rewinding and resetting, just have to understand that the speed is your own pace.
Yeah.
Don't look at other people and say, oh, it's waste time or anything like that. Your way is your way, just do it. And like the exercises, I do exercises as well. I dance a lot. So it's really, really important. And just eating healthy as well is really, really important. And drinking 2 liters a day is important as well. I drink 2 liters of water every day, or more, or 3 liters. Is really, really important in taking vitamins and just looking after yourself and your mindset and just enjoying the process of that resetting, knowing that you are the creator of your destiny with God, of course.
Okay. That's lovely. That's brilliant. Yeah, I think in conclusion, I think it's about mindfulness of needing to reset, being aware of it, and don't wait till you need it. Factor it in, diarize it in. So, I mean, I know certain people, and they do this with a family every year at a certain time. They will sit there, they will reset, they will do the things, they do the goal setting, and do it every year. It's a big thing, and they're actually all very high achievers, actually. So there's a lesson. That's what they do. Um, it may sound a little dry for some people, but they get great results. But be aware of it. Take time out, factor it in, whether you're doing it on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, or a quarterly basis, or even just an annual basis. But I would encourage you to do it more often. Little and often would be good because it gets a practice. And as we said earlier in the film, Pursuit of Happiness, when you're low on time, you become efficient at using your time. So you can achieve more in less time. So go ahead and do that and find out a way that you can press pause and take time to rewind and reset, because it really doesn't take time. It saves you so much time because you come so much more efficient after. You don't waste time going in the wrong direction. You get clarity on where to go. It's a bit like a car. You can still keep driving your car and it kind of chugs around. But when you take it to the garage and have it tuned, it goes actually quite quicker. It's smoother. You burn less fuel. It's more economical, and it has less fatigue. Now, if that remotely appeals to you, I think it's time to press pause and find time to rewind and reset. That's what I think. What about you, Amanda?
I think we've got so many ways for people to pause and reset in all of this. And one I think we missed to or didn't like specifically talk about was journaling and just spending time to to journal out even like why maybe you're feeling stuck, or that's a big piece of self-reflection, right? Is what is it that I'm feeling stuck with? What is it that I want to reflect on? How is it that I'm feeling right now? What could have been those like triggers for those feelings? And then how am I going to move forward with my day and send like positivity and love ahead to your day so that you can start off the mornings in a really good mood.
Great point. Yeah, so journaling is really important. Great point, Amanda. Journaling. So get away if you can. Physically get away, get in nature. If you can't do that, get in nature in your mind. What I mean is switch off, dream, meditate, hypnotize, self-hypnosis, or get a hypnotherapist like me to help you. Whatever it takes, you can get away either physically or mentally to do that. To journal is really important. Different people, perhaps different food. Surround yourself by water, whether that be a bath, whether it be a shower. Go for a jog, a run, a swim, whatever. It's all very good ways of doing it. And just do something different and make it your sacred time, because then it tells your mind that no matter what situation you're in, you do have some control over your outcome. That's really, really, really important to success. And when I say success, I mean success as in happiness, as in wealth, as in health. All of these things, you have choice. You can steer it. You can steer your ship. So, and this is a great way of showing your mind that, because the brain works on evidence. You give it the evidence. You can find some time to literally press pause and find time to rewind and reset. That's what I want to say. Over to you, Nomsa.
Please, if you're watching us from any of our social media, subscribe, share some love with your families, and go to the website as well. Sign up for love if you're looking for a relationship, or if you're looking to find your own voice, lead from within. Sign up as well. And I will see you guys tomorrow.